Welcome. Today I'd like to show you a few exercises I do at home to help keep my horse in a constant rhythm and to make sure I've got them between my leg and my hand and taking me to a fence or to a pole. I'll show you a few pole exercises that I do, really simple that you can set up at home, and also a simple exercise over one fence using a couple of poles to help. This exercise is all about rhythm. And if you keep a nice rhythm and you keep your horse straight, it will help you get a more correct distance every time you come to a fence. So it's really important to keep your horse coming through, to keep their trot active in front of your leg and to your hand. And when you're working them, they've got to be going forward, but not forward racing like this. That's running. They've got to be in your hand forward, from your leg, and you don't want to just be sauntering along with no leg and just flat like that. They need to be active. They need to be coming up more like this. Yeah, more active. To your hand, that's good. Right behind me here, I've got two sets of poles, either side of my circle. The sets of poles are about 4 yards apart, they're about one horse stride apart. The aim is to canter over them on the circle in one direction and then change direction and go the other way. It's important that the horse is between the leg. The poles, as you go over them, you need to aim to make them feel like any other stride. And when your horse is in front of your leg and in your hand, they will feel like any other stride. If your horse is behind the leg, they'll be reaching for them, you're deep, you'll get a bad distance. You come around the turn and you're over the shoulder, you're going to get there on a bad distance. The horse is going to have to jump, hop to get over them. Your aim is to keep the horse straight between your leg and your hand, so it just feels like another canter stride. If you find your horse isn't traveling over the poles enough, make sure you put your leg on. Just let him bulge over the corner a little bit there. So, gonna keep here. Nice. Just like another canter stride. Come around the turn, push him into that outside rein. And I'm keeping my leg on. You have to work to maintain it. You've got to keep your leg on so your horse is carrying you, taking you forward. Good. Even at the trot, you need to come to these poles. And if you're in a good rhythm, it should just come to and just feel like another trot stride or canter stride, whatever you're in. So I come on to the other rein now. I'm aiming for the same thing, just on the other rein. Sometimes it can be a bit more difficult changing reins to get into a nice rhythm. Good. See, he was very nice off the mark. If you're having a bit of trouble with this, you can start counting strides. You can start counting to keep a rhythm. You can be coming and going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, so in front of me here, I've got a very simple exercise. It consists of a plank, 6 yards to a fence, 3 yards to another plank. It's a very simple but quite difficult exercise to ride if you don't keep the horse between your leg and your hand. It is important as you come over this pole to keep your horse between your leg and your hand, and don't take your leg off and don't give your hand away. You need to keep that connection all the way to the fence, and then as you go over the fence, you need to still keep a bit of connection and keep your leg on. You can tell the horse where you're going and what you're doing after the fence. I like to use planks on either side of the fence, especially on the back side, in case you have a miss and the horse lands on the plank and puts a foot on the plank, that they're not going to injure themselves. Right, now we come down to this exercise here. So it's really important that I keep my leg, keep my hand. That was good. And it's important you sit up and you keep supporting your horse to the fence. And now the jump goes up, nothing changes, you give it the exact same ride. And just like that, nice and simple, nothing changes. So there we have it, 2 really simple exercises that you can do that really, I like to see it as working on yourself more than the horse, you know, working on a good rhythm and making sure you're making that connection between your leg and your hand and you're keeping the horse there. And the same thing with this fence, this exercise of this fence, it's working on that connection between you and your horse and your leg and your hand and the balance of keeping the horse there. It's not so much about working on the horse's technique or anything like that, it's working on your connection. Thank you for watching. I hope Eros and I have showed you some nice simple things you can do at home and you can give it a try and have fun riding.